Too much of anything can ruin everything. But what if the secret to a better life is moderation?
I never moderated anything in my life until about a month and a half ago. No music, no TV except for Saturdays, and only an hour of YouTube each day. I got the bright idea from scrolling YouTube, and I found that one interview, this is about 2 months ago now, well, a month and a half ago now, of Kay Michelle when she was on Cam Newton's podcast, I guess it is. Don't ask me how I got there. Literally, the algorithm decided that's what it was going to give me that day, so that's what I went with. But I ended up watching that, and I felt like she had some great points, especially around like music in relation to like Black culture, and it kind of stuck with me. But literally, I ended up seeing that, but I didn't immediately decide that I wanted to figure out moderation. But it put it in my head, like moderation is such a big thing, especially in this day and age with like so much technology, social media, you know the stuff, the normal culprits. It's like, where do we moderate ourselves? Like growing up, I wasn't someone who had in my house that, or knew in my household that moderation was something that ever needed to be considered. It was like you watch TV when you wanted to watch TV. If you were drinking alcohol, you drank alcohol when you wanted to drink alcohol, primarily on the weekends if it was at my house, or playing video games or whatever the case is. Moderation wasn't anything that was like really a part of a conversation. But after watching that, a couple days had gone by, and I'm finding a guy on YouTube who ended up talking about his experience with that, with like cutting music out of his life for about a week, and then it ultimately turned into him doing like 60 days, and he loved it. He enjoyed the experience. It was like, he was saying how it was kind of weird at first, but then it eventually became like, why am I doing this here? He said it was weird at first, but then he actually ended up finding himself pretty much growing from that experience. And it was something that I had actually tried before, like cutting out music, cutting back on TV, cutting back on like, because I was somebody who, after a long day of work, I would come home, turn on TV, probably put on like some true crime and stuff, and pretty much fall back and literally go to bed having that been the last thing on my mind. But I didn't want to do that anymore. It had been something that I had played with a couple times before, but it was never anything that I actually committed to. So this time, after kind of going through that process and running across the initial video and then kind of seeing this guy talking about his experience with it, I was ready to commit. So by like, this was like a Saturday, I ended up watching this. By that Monday, I was ready to kind of jump into it. I was like, fuck it, let's fucking do it. And commit, like, instantly cut everything out. It wasn't like a slow, gradual thing, because I had a little bit of experience having done it before for shorter periods of time, that I was able to kind of like just jump in and cut it out. So again, that Monday rolled around, and I thought my first experience getting back into it, the difficult part was going to actually be music. Turns out music was not the issue. Funny enough, I didn't realize I was going to be happy to cut music out, but I ended up being happy to cut music out. YouTube was the issue for me. YouTube was such a big issue for me, because I would literally be sitting in my office at work doing my soon to be automated away assignments, right? And then literally not have anything to kind of fill that gap for me, just kind of sitting in my enclosed box. After about a week though, it was kind of cool. It was cool. Like that first week was initially hard going without it. But again, after about a week, it started to kind of become normal to me. And then by the time I got end of week 2, I found myself actually really loving it. I actually found myself kind of enjoying the quiet, enjoying being left with my thoughts, and understanding like the power of like just sitting with like my emotions a lot more, my emotions, my feelings more, so I could understand myself at a deeper level. By week 3, everything had kind of changed. I found myself, things had gotten a little quieter for me, and I found myself connecting with myself a little more. I think, again, going back to kind of just being able to hear myself, having conversations with myself, and not having a bunch of different moving parts as far as like my thoughts go, all intertwined in one, allowed me to kind of just feel like I was getting a deeper connection with myself and literally becoming like a friend to myself. Like I found like my focus went up, my discipline went up like through the roof. The biggest thing is I found myself naturally being a lot happier with life. Like that was a super check mark on that one. That went up quite a bit, just naturally being happier, just not allowing myself to find stress in just every situation. Cause that's like my thing. I'm at a point in my life where I don't even want stress no more. Like let that thing go, let it go. But honestly, at this point, I'm at about a month and going on 2 months now. One thing I'll say though is the whole thing kind of showed me how easily it is that for us to fall into routines that at times we've not paid attention to whether or not it's serving us in any type of way. Like things like opening up YouTube when I freaking started my day, or even doing a workout with headphones in and blasting music was so normalized. And it shows you how easily sometimes these algorithms can control you, and things that are so normalized from the time you're like a kid. Like, I remember growing up just listening to all types of music. There were no conversations about that growing up. Like, I heard Nelly's Hot in Here by the time I was like 8. And these things you consider like very normalized in your life. Like, you need music. And not to say that music, TV, all these things aren't art. I'm not saying cut them all out. But what I am saying is moderation is something that's very crucial. Understanding how these things play in your life, and especially how they can impact your thought processes and the actions that you take. I realized that some of the actions that I had been taking in my life all this time before cutting this out were literally, in a sense, like my own doing, just because there was never a concept or never an awareness that I needed to even evaluate like what my habits and my day-to-day stuff were. Like, I feel like all of this together, if it's not something that you pay attention to, can end up leaving you confused, and then you end up at the end of your life, right, wondering like where the time went. And it's like the conversation, like everyone's always kind of like, it seems like the month is going by fast, or the year, like we're already closing in on the end of the year. But it's like, is it that time feels like it's moving faster, or is it that we're not aware of where our time's going? And oftentimes I'm starting to realize, me personally, not saying I'm right, but I'm starting to realize that like it's more about we don't know where our time is going consistently. Needless to say, this is like my new fucking lifestyle. Like, I'm sticking with this lifestyle. Like, it feels good. It's more clarity. I've found things to replace some of those old habits with. Again, not saying that music gotta go. I'm just saying, be conscious of what your habits might be on a day-to-day basis. Cause I know making this change has helped me out tremendously. Like, I've found things to replace. I'm getting heavier in my meditation. My reading has gone through the roof again. I'm like double timing books and stuff again. Um, Having conversations with myself, even turning on the camera, normalizing things like this again is like a big step forward, just as I free up space and figure out like what things call my attention that will add or fill my cup. But yeah, man, these things can change you. I just wanted to actually come on here and give myself a few minutes to kind of do like a quick little rant, just because I'm approaching 2 months of this new moderation lifestyle from music, TV, YouTube, or any social media apps that you would say. Even though I've been off of social media for quite some time now, at least the traditional social media platforms, but YouTube had been my vice for a little bit. But needless to say, I just wanted to come on here and kind of give a little bit of rant and 2 cents on that, just so that people out there can have something to kind of look at and maybe say, maybe I do need to assess like my day to day, and where my focus is pretty much going. But anyways, go ahead and leave your comments, your likes, subscribe, all that good stuff. If there's a video topic you want me to discuss, just hit it down in the comments section. Then I'll be back with another video. It's good seeing you guys. Take care.